I'll
and
take
you
audibles.
can take harmony on that too. It's the Oseh Shalom Bimrama, and then it's obviously the you can harmonize however.
Got it.
Go back and forth. Be
Oh,
the
say shalom. All right, so I'll just do the.
right.
Cool.
So the back and forth. Pick whatever. I'm gonna go A B A B A B. So if you want to do
I'll do A with you, and then I'll do A again.
exactly.
So we'll
We'll
alternate.
just kind of alternate, and as long as we get 3 times through, we're golden.
Okay.
Cool. Other than that, we're like kind of good. And I want to progressively get faster on it. Like
Okay.
slow because it's a busy song, so we'll get them all.
Just lead on. Give us some hand gestures.
Yeah,
I always turn a little bit so I can see you when I'm playing here.
Awesome. I'm really grateful for you guys. I'm like super sad about Catherine, but like it couldn't be a better night. Like,
All right, Mark, are you
I
good?
couldn't steal I got
Hope
him
so.
on
All right.
last Saturday.
Yeah,
Just
I am.
couldn't steal it for you tonight.
It's an all-new experiment.
I got him, thank God, for the Saturday bar mitzvah
I
because it happened to
racked
be
all
that
the
there
new
wasn't
stuff
one
in
by David.
there.
I looked on the calendar, I'm like,
Wow.
he's not booked for the bar mitzvah.
The,
Maybe he doesn't have a gig in the morning. And thank God his first gig was at 1
You got a lot of them.
So I was like, yes, I'll keep you till 12:30.
Wow. Yeah, and it goes unappreciated, the work you do. I know, because I'm at the other synagogue going unappreciated.
I had to add an intended distribution.
You're about the same.
One of the old mics that we've got is in the Wi-Fi ring. So you can't that's it. Yeah. So it's like, oh.
Sounds good.
It's all an adventure, like one bit at a time, right? Yeah, it's interesting. Usually the whole live stream goes and you turn that on. That's when all of a sudden like, you lose sound on some of the
No, it isn't. It's
I don't know.
it
Was?
was like $800, but back then, it was. I mean, I've had it forever, so.
So are you offering these and do you travel against it?
What else? Well, yeah. I mean, they play all the days. How are you? It's been a while. See, it's hard for me to change because it's so close. Oh, it's not better, but it's still the same.
Yeah, if it's
Our shop.
I mean, compared to my Fender Squier P-Bass,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, I had a Volkswagen,
Yeah.
and now I've got like a Lexus. Not quite a Lexus, maybe.
Like, and then you just have to decide like if you want to string ones.
I like those strings. Yeah. Got the, yeah. No, you got, I'm not gonna
Yep. Are you clarinet?
No, I didn't.
No clarinet's ready. Okay. So,
That's okay. I didn't pick as many like brass heavy pieces tonight because I was like, without Catherine,
right.
you
But we
guys
could
would
have opened with the clarinet, with a klezmer and closed with the klezmer.
You're not.
That's okay. I'm all set up. No, my tempo.
Oh, that was supper time. Can't get those songs out of my head.
I like how they go, and this is the same band that plays on Friday night services.
drum roll.
By the time you get on the second ending,
No, we're not going to do let's call the whole thing off. It came out better than I thought it was going to. A big moment. Well, Sabrina's going to pick a piece, and then we're going to play it.
Take a piece of what? Did you say of what? I work for you. I'm all good. What? Shabbat Shalom. There were so many false endings, I didn't know when it was over. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's so nice to see faces. Not all of them. Some have faces, but I can see some faces. We're coming around, folks. This could be the beginning of getting close to the beginning to the end. Oops, sorry. We are going to. Fantastic. I love it. It is our Rock Shabbat. So, before or after?
Up to you. Oh, before.
All right. It's our Rock Shabbat. So I remember when I was a kid singing Shalom Aleichem at summer camp, and we all had our hands together. We would hold hands, and we'd do circles around the tables of the dining room at camp. And I thought it was the coolest thing. And then I realized there are more ways to sing this song. And it got even cooler. And there's this version called by someone named Shmuel Brazil. And whenever Jenna lists it, it just says Brazil. So for the longest time, I thought that this was the Brazilian melody.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know how many are in a Brazilian.
Here we go. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Aseret, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Aseret, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Aseret, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei
HaKadosh Baruch Hu, ay, 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 Bochem Shalom, Bochem Shalom, Malachi Elohim, Melech Malchei Hamachim, HaKadosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elohim, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, ay, ay, Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elohim, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elohim, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elohim, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 Tzedchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elohim, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
All right, now we're in the mood. And those of you who have gotten that feeling, got inspired by Mike Tucker, you've got your eggs, shake them to the tune of the music. Now, Jews are notorious for having bad rhythm, as you'll remember, except for Alan Goodman. But you'll remember the last Music Shabbat that theory was proved. But you're going to prove us wrong again, right? With you, we're going to yeah. Everybody take your egg and do this. Now go up and down. Now, yeah. Now, you at home do the same thing. Get an egg from the refrigerator and just do this, and you'll be right with us. It'll be awesome. We are going to, and if you paint it black, then you'll even look like ours. Just, yeah. Don't throw them like Mike was. You could hard boil it. Yeah, we're full of solutions here tonight. We are going to continue with lighting our Shabbat candles. If you're following along on page 2, we're going to invite the Schnurs to come and kindle the Shabbat candles in honor of Richard's birthday earlier this week. Was it the 22nd? Yeah, so it was on Super Tuesday. 2. Was that?
Too many twos.
2 on a Tuesday.
22.
Please rise.
As these candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Amen. Thank you so much, and happy birthday, and you may be seated until we get to the last verse of Lecha Dodi.
Goes like this, the
Sabbath bride.
We continue with Baruch Hu, which can be found on page 28.
Be seated. At this point in our service, between Baruch Hu and Shema, we offer two prayers. First one thanks God for the glorious creation that is our beautiful world. And the second, thanks God for the gift of Torah, which is God's expression of love for us. While we are thinking of creation and love this week, we as a world have witnessed acts of destruction and hate. We've seen the vile and cowardly acts of aggression from Russia against the Ukraine. As Jews, we acknowledge that all humans are created in the divine image, which means all humans deserve respect, safety, health, protection from violence. Tonight I want to read a poem by Rabbi Cheryl Leward, of blessed memory, called Stand Up which I offer tonight for us, also for the people of Ukraine, and even for those in Russia who are tired of the tyrannical dictatorship that exists there. May you be known as one who is willing to stand up and be counted. Do what you can to contribute to the well-being of others and find comfort in knowing that others are making contributions as well. May you never worship false values or bring a golden calf in moments when you feel worthless and abandoned. May you never delude yourself, but remain aware of your own value and potential, your own inner divine spark that keeps you centered and secure in your beliefs. Amen. Continue with Shema.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your mind. Learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way and listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear. Listen to our God. You can hear from the top of the highest hill, or from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam. Listen to our God. Listen to our
Hafta is on page 36, and I never told you to stand, so you do what you want anyway. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Mi Chamocha is on page 40.
Page 43. Hashki Benu. That there belongs to continue with Yismechu, and I want to see lots of sound and lots of movement and clapping. I wish our Rabbi Einstein was here to sing with us, but in his absence, I expect to hear you singing too. I sing it in E, but you can sing it in any, you can play it in any key and I'll sing it. Here we go. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mekadashei, Mekadashei Shabbat.
In an envelope marked personal, God addressed me a letter. In an envelope marked personal, I have given my answer. We continue with the Amidah, our personal prayers, beginning on page 46. Do not rise until the music lifts you.
Feel Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'levoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Elohei Bilhah, Elohei Zilpah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chazdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Me'avam, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah, Rav Le'Oshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaKashem, Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha V'Gevurot, Umito Melach, Melech Beniti Mechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'nemanat Halachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Kedoshim b'chol yom, v'halavu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We take a moment for our own personal prayers, and whenever you're finished, you may be seated. We continue with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for reading the Torah, which begins on page 246. Page 246, please rise.
Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. U'nemar Adonai b'Yerushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kdushato. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura ha'tiferet v'hanetzach v'ha'ahod. K'chol v'shamayim u'va'aretz, k'chol v'shamayim u'va'aretz. Lecha Adonai ha'mamach v'ha'mitnaseh v'kol lerosh.
You may be seated. This week we're reading Parshat Vayakhel, usually paired with Pikudei as a double portion. It's a Hebrew leap year, so we don't double any portions. So we get to really soak in just Vayakhel. It's really, because it's just Parshat Vayakhel, it's only about two things. There are two topics. One is Shabbat. Moses tells the Israelites they can work 6 days but must rest on Shabbat, that anyone who works on Shabbat may be put to death, and that no fire may be kindled on Shabbat. Next, we read about the construction of the Mishkan, and this takes us through the rest of the parasha. The tabernacle, the places where the place where the desert-dwelling Israelites worshipped, and where Moses would meet with God. Now, the whole Shabbat section goes like this. On 6 days work may be done, but on the seventh day you shall have a Sabbath of complete rest, holy to Adonai. Whoever does any work on it shall be put to death. You shall kindle no fire throughout your settlements on the Sabbath day. That's it. That's it. The verse before that is the beginning of the parasha. Moses gathers the Israelites. So now you know the whole thing that I'm going to read tonight, so I don't have to translate. Shabbat gets 2 verses, and the rest of the parasha is all about building the Mishkan. From its design, to establishing a building fund, to acquiring a contractor and an AC guy, making the tent, the ark, the table, the menorah, the altar, the courtyard of the Mishkan. From all the details about building the Mishkan, the rabbis of the Talmud figure that there is something connected between building the Mishkan and Shabbat. Clearly, there's got to be a reason why Moses would mention Shabbat just before they start building. That reason is twofold, according to the rabbis. First, it reminds them not to lose track of time while they're building. Even when we are doing something as important as building the Mishkan, it is critical that we remember Shabbat and make holy space for ourselves during the week. How many of us are guilty of just one more email? Just one more phone call? Just let me finish typing this paragraph? Nope, it's Shabbat. You can do it next time. I had a friend who every Friday afternoon would take a wastebasket and put it next to his desk and take all the papers and just throw everything in. And that freaked me out. And I said, what if it's important? And he said, if it's important, it'll come back. Second, it provides a hidden definition of what work means. In Tractate Shabbat in the Talmud, the rabbis go to some length to figure out what it means when the Torah says don't work. We all know we're not supposed to go into the office, but there are still some gray areas. What exactly is Shabbat Shabbaton, a complete rest? Do we have to stay in bed all day, like my teenagers? Is it work to walk to a friend's house for lunch? What about while carrying a salad? Is it work to cook? Is it work to bring water into the house because you need water? What about drawing a picture with our children? Can we play sports if we are so inclined? There are countless questions about the details of what defines work that confounded the rabbis of the Talmud. So Mishnah Shabbat gives us 39 melachot, 39 tasks that are considered work, and therefore they are not permitted on Shabbat. They are sowing, plowing, reaping, binding sheaves, threshing, winnowing, selecting, grinding, sifting, kneading, baking, shearing wool, washing wool, beating wool, dyeing wool, spinning, weaving, making two loops, weaving two threads, separating two threads, tying, untying, sewing, tearing, trapping, slaughtering, flaying, salting, curing hide, scraping hide, cutting hide up, writing two or more letters, erasing two or more letters, building, tearing something down, extinguishing a fire, kindling a fire, putting the finishing touch on an object, transporting an object between a private domain and the public domain, or within the public domain. That's Mishnah Shabbat 7 if you're counting. And if you'd like to hear that again, watch the live stream. Most of these tasks are directly related to building something in the Mishkan and the work that's done as described in Parashat Vayakhel. Numbers 12 through 27 have to do with making materials used in construction of the tabernacle, as do verses 29 through 31. 34 and 35 are building and tearing down, which is a pretty direct link. And 38 is putting a finishing touch on an object. 39 has to do with moving objects from place to place, which is pretty necessary for construction. So of the 39 tasks, 23 of them are directly related to the things the Israelites did while building the Mishkan. And the remaining 16 are directly related to food, from cultivation to preparation. And this could be argued is also necessary to build the Mishkan, because have you ever fed a crew? They can eat. And also, hungry workers are unproductive workers. So we build. We build throughout the week. Probably not the Mishkan, but we do not build on Shabbat. Now, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel suggests that we actually do build on Shabbat, we just use different materials. Instead of building space out of cloth and leather and metal, we build time out of hours, minutes, and seconds. Just like the Mishkan was a sacred space in the desert, so too Shabbat is a sacred space in time. Heschel even called it a palace in time. A palace in time might be built by one person. It is possible to spend Shabbat alone and have a perfectly restful day. I would suggest, however, that such a palace does not satisfy the way one built by family and friends does. When the Israelites built the Mishkan, everybody participated. People were moved to give to the point of being told to stop giving. That's how you know the Torah is fiction. Imagine if we were that passionate about building Shabbat, the whole Jewish community passionately coming together for prayer and study, enjoy a meal, bringing all of their best foods, enjoy each other's company, to take a break and celebrate Shabbat as one. That would be a miracle. It's wonderful to have all of you here celebrating this miracle, and I appreciate every single body we have in this room. I look forward to the day when it is full of people celebrating Shabbat together, taking a break, taking a real rest, not worrying about the next thing that has to be done, but building that time together. May our Shabbat this week be guided by Rabbi Heschel and by Parashat Vayakhel. Let's all take the time to build something special on Shabbat together. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to as I mentioned, read from the very beginning of Parshat Vayakhel. I've already translated the verses. It's on page 668 in your Plout commentary, the very beginning of the page. So right from the top, we'll be reading. So we invited Richard and Hedda to light the candles earlier in honor of his birthday on 2/2/2/2. And it was also Jenna Sagan's birthday on 2/2/2/2. So she also is a Super Tuesday baby. And we are going to invite her up for the Aliyah. Ta'amod. Ze'eva Bela Bat Lev Belea La'aliyah LaTorah. Sorry, it's far away.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamorah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. I swear I picked the portion before I looked. Amen. Vayakhel Moshe et kol edat b'nei Yisrael. Vayomer alehem ele hadvarim asher tziva Adonai la'asot otam. Sheshet yamim ta'aseh malacha. Uvayom hashvi'i yeh lachem kodesh Shabbat Shabbaton l'Adonai. Kol ha'oseh bo malacha yumat. Lo ta'avru esh bechol mishvotechem b'yom haShabbat.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. With the Torah open before us, we know God is listening close to our words, and so we open our hearts in prayer to those in our community, those in our lives who need a mishaberach of healing. Tonight we are thinking especially of Mira Adler, Dylan Artunian, Horatio Campos, Martha Campos, Myrna Capsuto, Georgina Chapman, Nancy Danger, Larry Dratch, Carol Ensley, Bev Hirsch, Ira Hirsch, Julie Holdaway, Philip Klein, Lori Laren, Tricia Luce, Harley Mandel, Gary Miller, Heather Miller, Dale Perutka, Marlene Perutka, Michael Simons, Hyland Slobodkin, Marlene Chagel Smith, Betty Wood, Pam Zinner, Aviva Bat Moralea, Chayalea Bat Miriam, Sarah Rivka Bat Nisan, Shira Aliza Bat Hana Bracha, Aliana Ruth Bat Abraham Vasara, Hannah Sarah Shraga, Avraham Ben Tova, Esther Malkachana Bat Batya Ruth, Velvel Moshe Ben Maralea. Are there any other names for Misha Berach tonight?
Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov.
whose names we say aloud, all those whose names we put in the chat, and all those whose names remain on our hearts be blessed with a complete healing as we say Amen. We're going to continue with Hagba and Galila, and as the Torah is lifted, we invite you all to please rise.
Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe, vezot haTorah, vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe, vezot haTorah, Bnei
Page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. We remember the holy martyrs of every age of Jewish memory, from the Crusades to the Inquisition, from the English expulsion to the Russian pogroms, from the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem to the destruction of communities in the Holocaust. We remember those who have given their lives for our nation and for the state of Israel. We also take to heart the 323 Americans who lost their lives this week to gun violence. As we remember them all, we also take to heart the people, the victims who are losing their lives to the unnecessary atrocities being committed in Ukraine. As we remember them all, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death, perhaps choosing one of the meditations on page 288 and following, or whichever words the heart may prompt. Think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. As a reminder, it is our custom at CBT that when we hear the name of our own loved one, we rise in honor of their memory. Tonight we are observing Shloshim, remembering the recent death of Rosalie Rothblatt, Erwin Frazen, Sharon Schwartz, Roberta Young, and Renee Lodge. We're also commemorating the Art Site, remembering the anniversary of their death this week, of Tom Benson, Eileen Brooks, Joyce E. Benson, Aaron Bessem, Jean D. Bose, Louis Bussell, Sophie Duchowny, Cecil Farron, May M. Goldblatt, Serena Gore, Norbert G. Haber, Dolores Ann Herring, Colleen Ann Jabush, Albert Lerner, Gus Liebman, Jerome Mendelson, Ida Needleman, Celia Newman, David Offner, Moses Rabinovich, Ethel Rosenblatt, Meyer Rotkin, Ruth G. Weber Strickler, Eula Bunny Sugarman, Michael E. Supp, Ruth Waters, Joanne Wellborn, Bonnie Whittlitz, Elliot Winston, Barbara Wolsinger. Are there any other names for Kaddish this evening? Not yet. She hasn't been buried yet. Memories of all of them are with us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we rise as one community to praise God with the words of Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Page 294. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, be'alma di v'ra chirutei, v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru.
Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach ve'alam v'amei amaya.
Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei kudusha le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Yehei shlama rabbah min shmaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, to which we say,
Amen.
you may be seated.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and everyone out there in virtual land. My name is Brian Offner. I'm representing the Board of Directors this evening. First of all, I'd like to thank our Simcha Band for another excellent job on a fourth Friday of every month. I'd like to thank John Tice as our usher this evening as well. And then for tonight, the streaming has been sponsored by Kathleen Heimoff. Tonight's To-Go Neg is sponsored by Richard and Hedda Schnur in honor of their birthdays. Thank you. And tonight's Music Shabbat has been sponsored by Diane and Sam Saltzman and Mike Tucker and Carly Hughes. Also, Jenna, thank you, as well as Rabbi as well. If you're here tonight in our program, I'm gonna probably say this one more time. A couple weeks ago, I was here with the Brotherhood Shabbat. We're still taking individual tribute cards and sponsors for our Purim boxes that are going to be delivered in a few weeks. And so you can contact Mark Goldhammer for that. He has sent out a couple emails. I received another one this week. So sponsoring for the entire congregation, or you can just sponsor for one or two people as well. And on that note, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. We have our annual Purim Carnival on March 13th as well, so something to mark your calendars for, as well as our Spiel, which is the week of the 13th.
It's the 16th, the evening of the 16th.
So keep that. We continue with Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom. Bimroma. Hallelujah. Oseh Shalom. Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imeru. Amen.
We rise for Kiddush and Motzi, led by Brian Offner. So the reason so Brian asked which is first, and there's a story for that.
That's why I asked.
The reason we do we put a cover on the challah is because challah's last, and we don't want to make it jealous. Right? Isn't it nice to be a part of a religion that cares so much about the feelings of a challah? You would think that we would care so much more for the feelings of people. Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Ki banu v'acharta, ve'otanu kiddashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava u'vratzon hinhaltanu,
Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. I'm gonna call an audible. Shosh, do you want to come help with the motzi? Oh, I know she does. Come over here so we can see you on camera.
She can hold the challah, huh? She's big enough now.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. This week, yes, give her the shakes. And also, please remember to put the eggs back in the back of the room. And today, you can put all your eggs in one basket. This week, we experienced what I've mentioned a couple times tonight. I've been referring to it as Super Tuesday, TWO. February 22nd, 2022 gave us 2-2-2-2-2 on a Tuesday. The world will not experience another 2-2-2-2-2 for another 100 years. And not for 400 years will it again be on a Tuesday. 2-22, 24-22 is also a Tuesday. Most of us will never experience a day labeled as 2-2-2-2-2 ever again. However, Shabbat we get to experience in just 7 days. Shabbat is here this week and every week, and we will celebrate it, as always, with all of you, and it will be super. Shabbat Shalom.
And as you all head out for to-go night, you have a special treat of a song called the Odessa Bulgar, and it's a really amazing piece. So enjoy as we enjoy our to-go night in honor of Ukraine.
It's a Ukrainian piece, yeah?